apples, it was an issue.
Yeah.
Because Amanda kept eating it, and we didn't have a lot of apples.
Fucking big green giant.
Yeah, I don't know. That's it.
That's it.
He just kept eating them.
He kept eating them. Hey, Amandus, can you not eat that apple? We've got to use that in the video.
Yeah, good quote.
Yeah. The concept was to make a skateboard video that incorporated animation and lots of artistic-y stuff in it, where it didn't revolve around solely around skating. It's more about combining arty-farty stuff with skating.
I think, I mean, at the start of a project, you hire someone or you get involved with someone because of what they've previously done or what they've. I mean, you have trust in them from the beginning, and that is important to maintain, I think.
When you're able to do whatever you want, it was a bit hard. And we have that test video with you that I can cut to. And I didn't know, or there was a bit of a learning curve because I hadn't used, you had to get Dragon Frame software and set up a little DIY animation rig.
It'd been a long time since either of us had done any stop motion stuff, and so we were learning as we went along. We didn't know what we were doing, so it took a little while to figure out the lighting, figure out the camera setup, get the right program for it, and we're just doing some tests. So there was a couple of months of just playing and testing.
Bring that camera out. So you're witnessing history right now.
I found it there was something quite nice about it, like being really delicate and moving stuff.
The stop motion was actually surprisingly fun once we got into it.
Yeah, once everything was set up how we wanted it, then it was annoying at the beginning when we were trying stuff out because it wasn't working. But then once everything was set up correctly and we knew what we were doing, it was quite nice.
Yeah. So you'd set it up, I'd shoot, you'd move it. We had an onion skin, which was very handy.
Yeah.
And then we.
And then we would both work on it together. I would move the characters because Phil has greasy fingers, so he can't touch anything.
It's true.
But then Phil would keep an eye on what I was doing and take the photos and then adjust. He would say adjust this because he was sat closer to the screen, so we would both have ideas and stuff what to do, and then Phil would take it into his nerd program and then
Premiere,
Dragon
Frame and Premiere.
Yeah.
And it was I kept the photos really high res because I wanted you to see that was actually paper, especially on the close-up, so you can really see it's not a digital animation, it's all paper. All pointless paper,
which I never want to do again.
Which you could do in 30 seconds with a character animator or something. Wooden props. The kind of idea with that was to make it as seamless as possible between the cardboard animation the stop motion and the props. And so everything was very 2D, and then that influenced how I had to shoot it because I couldn't do stuff with any real depth of field. I had to be very deep focus things, so because everything's flat. Yeah,
having the flat paper dictated what we did for the wooden stuff and how that was to look. So it had to be flat color, had to be shot from a certain angle so that it would, if you had it next to the paper one, it would be it could blend together.
Yeah, and then for shooting it, a lot of it was very just shooting at 90 degrees. So then eventually, if I wanted to, I could put this thing in here or put a face on that or blah blah blah. The props kind of influenced how the whole thing was shot. I hadn't thought about it.
It made it limiting, but then that's kind of good because then it makes you work in a different way than what you necessarily would otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I would say that I was mostly like documenting what was going on. There's hardly any shots that's been like set up for just a photo. Even if in hindsight, you know, you could have done some amazing, you know, setup shots, especially here inside the park. But mainly it's kind of, you know, shot at the same time it's been filmed, and you had to adapt a little bit of angles and circumstances and so on.
Yeah, well, because we talked about doing animation and combining that with the footage, but then I really like the idea of taking another element and having the real world stuff being exaggerated and having elements that are cartoonish, but with it in the footage rather than adding it on afterwards, and then combining them and overlapping them.
And by the power of editing, this is a creature.
No, but I just thought it was cool to have like some 3D props that would maybe confuse people a bit.
Ja, det är typ omöjligt. Can't sack. Unsack. Yeah.
Okay, are you ready, Mike? Yeah. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Whoa!
Run.
Neil said, "What obstacles are we doing?" And then I said, "I have no idea." And then I just did some drawings, little quick sketches, and then I took it to Pierre, and he looked at them and went, "Yep, I can make that on a computer." And then he made them. He did nerdy computer stuff really quickly and made it and drew them up on the computer and made them look like actual objects. And and then Pierre, Jamal, and Emma built them. And then I kind of helped with angles and stuff. Oh, this should be this high or this low, whatever. And then and then those guys worked really hard and made some really cool stuff. And I was really stoked because I'd never designed any ramps before, and I never had been done that process, and to see something that I'd made that was this big out of cardboard, then to be like a really big, really well made wooden skate obstacle that looked like I wanted it to look.
Finish soon, man. Yeah. One more. This one. Pretty good. The biggest challenge? The coping.
Oh, the coping, okay.
Yeah, putting the angle.
You mean doing straight lines? Yeah.
Always hard. Where to go.
we like it wiggly.
Yeah, so we had the faces on the ramps, and we thought that it would be good if we kept the dots out of the eyes, or like kept the mouth off at the beginning, get some shots of people skating it, and then paint the faces on afterwards, so that we could get shots where when people are skating over the ramps, you can see the faces animated and they're reacting to the skaters.
Yeah, that was a little, not stressful, but we had to concentrate more to fill in the faces as we went, and it also completely influenced or restricted how I could shoot it, because the camera had to be locked off.
Yeah.
If the face wasn't complete on the obstacle, I had to lock the camera off and shoot it 4K and then move it afterwards. And then if the face was painted on, then I could roll with it and get some more fun shots. Yeah. And the biggest restriction was the size of the obstacles and their weight, because we were originally going to shoot at a different spot outdoors. And it was such a logistical nightmare that it actually worked out way better, because we were forced to shoot indoors because it was such a hassle to move basically a skate park. It meant that we created this totally different world, and then there was all the black backgrounds that gave a new opportunity to put extra animation in. And
it's one of those very happy accidents, or those
serendipitous.
I'll stay.
Sandra was a revelation how weird he was. But in a really good way.
He took control over the second camera for quite a while, didn't he?
Yeah.
He filmed lots of weird things and went off on his own and filmed stuff,
Yeah.
which I haven't seen, but I know
You'll see it now.
He filmed a lot.
Have him lower.
John Magnusson. John Magnus.
He's fucking funny as fuck, and so is Amandus. They're both weirdos, but they're in a lovely way. Very sweet boys.
Action! That was terrible.
Yeah, we had Amandus and Sandra were like, we knew like their skating is and who they are. They are dorky and kind of they like to do fun stuff. They're not really serious, so it really fit the vibe of what we wanted to do, and we knew they were into it. And then from then on, we were like, okay, we need other people who can work at it. And then the obvious choice is Mimi. She works at Bryggeriet. She skates every day. She's really nice, and she's sick.
Really good.
Yeah, and really good. And she was super stoked on it.
And also was influenced by the script and storyboard that I had to start with Amandus as the main character that would disappear into this world, and everyone else had to be introduced chronologically, so we had to hold off sometimes, or only shoot with Sandra and Amandus sometimes.
Yeah.
And then Mimi came, and then Adam.
And Adam, because he's friends with Amandus and Sandra, and then he was a good fit because he's similar to those guys. He was just down for whatever. And then Marie.
And then
And
Jules.
yeah. And
It's everyone, right? Yeah.
is that it? Yeah, that is it. I think there was someone else. And Penny.
And Penny.
Penny the dog.
Instagram.
You're stoked. You're stoked. You're stoked. You're stoked. The way we did it was actually quite simple. I made a test edit with anonymous artists. I just used whatever I thought would fit right that we could never afford to clear. And then I sent it as a guide to Sandra, more in terms of the tempo of the song and the vibe, and just said go for it. And I was really not surprised, I was just stoked. The first 4 tracks I got were really good, and yeah, he killed it. He did it really good. We actually didn't use everything because he sent 11 tracks.
It's one of those things where it could have gone the other way, where he could have handed a bunch of stuff that didn't work, and it would have been like, fuck, what do we do now? But it worked really well. It's like, and he was saying he would watch the video, the edit, the rough cut, and then play stuff that the vibe that he felt. Yeah, and I think it turned out really good. Yeah.
Good job, Sandra.
Yeah.
Today it's kind of easy to only see one side of skateboarding. There's a lot of competitions going on, and there's a lot of focus on competitions and winning and the road to the Olympics and big corporations, associations, whatever, and a lot of people get exposed to this and might see skateboarding for the first time in this kind of environment. And and that's a little bit misguided, because obviously skateboarding is a lot more than competing and results and sponsorship and so on. Skateboarding is also, it's got its own cultural side, and painting and arts and photography, filming, music, you name it. Everything creative basically has got a part in skateboarding. So our kind of main goal was to to show a wider spectrum of what skateboarding is about, that you can be part of skateboarding in many different ways.